What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning pay-per-view. You know, I've been asked questions about pay-per-view. What's my take on pay-per-view? What's my take on pay-per-view? First of all, I love pay-per-view. I grew up on pay-per-view. I grew up on a lot of things that are not around anymore. The status of pay-per-view. Let me counterpunch this, guys, because I was asked these questions and now it's time for me to counterpunch it and address it. Okay. Pay-per-view. Is pay-per-view dying? Yes. Is pay-per-view dead? No. Okay. It's not dead, but it is dying. Let me give you hints that it is dying. Who is the pound for pound, or who is the pay-per-view cash cow right now? Canelo Álvarez, right? Or should I say Canelo Álvarez was. What did Canelo Álvarez decide to do? He decided to sign a massive Dazn deal. Who else? Anthony Joshua is not exclusively with Dazn, but he sells out. He still does pay-per-view, but it's a different model than the UK. It won't die there in the UK because they've known how to adjust and circumvent the price to fit the demographic, the public, okay? So it won't be gone there. I'm referring to pay-per-view in the US, so let's say that, all right? And in the US, we have the biggest star decides to sign over. Joshua's fighting on Dazn, which he is probably the highest paid, okay? So they're neck and neck with Canelo and Joshua, but they're fighting in America on this platform. So you have two of the biggest stars in boxing decide that, hey, you know what? We're not really going to go with pay-per-view. We're going to put our faith and our energy into Dazn, into a streaming app. That makes you wonder, why would someone that is successful like Canelo Álvarez, that he can sell out, he can sell 50,000 at the Texas Stadium in Arlington at Jimmy's World, someone that could possibly do good numbers, why would you think he would decide to do that? That's just really a no-brainer. That's a bad sign. Now, what would put the nail, and what's going to put the nail in the coffin? When Mayweather comes back. Everybody knows that Mayweather's making a return to boxing. He can't quit. He can't give up. Okay? And what will put that to rest is when he fights and the numbers come out and they're not what they were. If they're anywhere about 400,000 or 500,000, pay-per-view is going to die very soon. Because if you look at the last two pay-per-view events, we had Spence Garcia, 360, right? We had Pacquiao, Broner, 400,000. And we had Fury and Wilder with 325,000, right? Now, this is nowhere near 1 million views. The last million view or million pay-per-view buys was like Canelo, Golovkin, right? That was the last time you've seen that. And it's probably, if Mayweather doesn't do 1 million views when he comes back to the sport, pay-per-view is soon losing its steam and will soon die. Because that's the cash cow. That's the ultimate king of kings when it comes to pay-per-view. And if he can't come back and sell like he used to, we know that model's dead. You know what I mean? There's no disrespect to pay-per-view. It just doesn't do what it used to do due to other things. Piracy and illegal streams and all this stuff. It's going to happen. But why do you think people do what they do? It's too expensive. People get tired of paying that money. People got tired of paying $30, $40 damn late fees for Blockbuster late rentals. That's how they made a lot of their money. And when you didn't pay, they sent it off to the credit bureau and mess with your credit. Look, that type of stuff, man, had to go because that was inconveniencing everybody. you know, until somebody else had another light bulb, right? So this light bulb is Dazn. It's streaming. You can't screenshot it. You can't download it. You can't, you know what I mean? You gotta go through that app. And that app is secured by all types of stuff. All types of encryptions and all that. So, no, it's not dead yet because there's still fights that can be made. You know, the Joshua-Deontay Wilder fight could be on pay-per-view. You know, the Fury-Wilder fight could be on pay-per-view. But what happens? They could stretch those fights out if, you know, with these fighters and have everyone, you know, and want them to marinate and all that. And they could go on pay-per-view, sure. But after that, what? Pay-per-view dies. You know what I'm saying? It'll be dead. But again, Mayweather is the saving grace. That's the last thing that we need to test out. The last particular thing. That last defining factor of Floyd coming back to the sport. Let's see what he sells. But again, if he's doing something like 400, 500,000 pay-per-view buys, no. You know what I mean? Because that means that people don't want to see him fight anymore. Or people are not buying to see him fight anymore. Either way, they're not profiting anything. You know, so no, pay-per-view is still alive because there's pay-per-view opportunities out there. And this is America, and America believes in maximizing all profits. Okay? So they're going to do it as long as they can. But that model will soon die out. When you have Pacquiao Broner did 400,000, if this would have been 2015 or 14 or some other year like that, that would have easily been 1.2 million pay-per-view buys, at least almost a million. Nowadays, it's 400,000. That's a big difference, right? In time. Because back then, pre-Mayweather Pacquiao, it was booming. That was the standard. Hey, get your money together. Hey, we're going to put in on this fight. I got 25. You got 2 more other buddies? You know what I mean? Or, sorry, 3 other buddies to watch a $100 fight? People are wising up, you know. Americans only stay naive for so long until someone gives them another way. Regardless of how radical it may seem, eventually they catch on. We catch on. And say, you know what? Bump that. I'm going with Dazn. I'm going with ESPN Plus. And I can watch whatever I want to. Matter of fact, I'm going to take this $99 and get the whole year's subscription. You know what I mean? Get the whole subscription for a whole year for less than $9. So, yeah, people are wising up here. But Mayweather, he would be the last person for us to see that. So, anyway, that's my take on pay-per-view. You know, you guys tell me what you think. Counterpunch a comment below. Please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.